Hi everybody, it's me, your old pal Murmur. Somebody once told me the world is gonna... Hi everybody, it's me, your old pal Murmur, your favorite demon, that guy who screams and plays guitar. Good to see you again. Today we're going to talk about gear, and starting with this right here, which I totally was able to touch without looking at the camera. This is from a service called Pedal Genie. They are kind of like Netflix for guitar pedals, so you can pay for a subscription. You make a list and then they send you the stuff to rent. You can hold on to it for as long as you want. If you end up wanting to keep it, they'll sell it to you for a discounted rate. Not sponsored, by the way. It'd be cool if I was. This is the next one we've got in my queue. So I'm going to take out and stick on my pedal board down here. This is an Electro Harmonix Nano Pog. It's a pitch shifter. So you can have your normal guitar signal and then a sub-octave and an octave up. You can blend that together however you want. I'll have to try one of these for a while. So this will be cool. I'm just going to put it down here. As you can probably see or have seen by the shelf behind me and this rack of stuff down here and this pile of fuck right here, I got a lot of gear. So let's just take a look at some of what I've got here today. This guitar right here, this is the Olivia guitar. This is a Squier Duosonic, which you can get brand new for like $300. Used, it can be as low as like $250. Yeah, this is the guitar I used on the solos on Olivia. It's literally just a single pickup. I took out the other one. Kind of left it as this bare bones thing, and it still held up pretty well, I gotta say. It's like this tiny little guitar. It's what they call a student model. So it's short scale. It plays really nice. It's really punchy. For doing the solos, I felt like it would be good sound to have in that mix to kind of cut through everything. One of the many guitars my mom has gotten me, so thanks, Mom. This is a custom fuzz pedal that was made for me years ago, way back in 2014. I was just a teenager and I just really gotten into pedals and specifically weirder things that weren't like Boss or some big brand. Found a website called I Love Fuzz, which was a lot of people that play really cool, weird music and use a lot of gear and love a lot of gear. And this guy, Evan, had a pedal company called Dirge, which had this cool art on it. He had some cool sounding fuzz pedals, and so I hit him up and I got this. Two different types of fuzz circuits. One's really mellow, one's really aggressive. You can switch what diodes are in there. There's pink LEDs on it when you turn it on. It can feedback, and there's a photo eye for the feedback thing. It's a lot of crazy shit. One box that can do all the crazy bullshit I've wanted. Because at the time, like, stuff that was coming out then wasn't super polished. Like, now you can get, like, JHS. Like, this is another boutique pedal builder. It's a little tremolo pedal. Like, stuff like this was not really around. Back then, all the shit that was interesting or cool or wasn't like super known was stuff that was loud, fed back, made disgusting noises. That's what I was into back then. Still something I like to keep around, and it's just a good memory too, and Evan's a good friend. I guess this is some more gear that was used when people experience things. This is another I Love Fuzz pedal. It's called the Fuck Overdrive. The Fuck Overdrive. I never get tired of saying the name because it allows me to say fuck followed by overdrive. This is a really early production of this. This is a more known pedal now. It's by a company called Small Sound Big Sound. This was number 105 from what I've seen. Like the serial number is inside hand stamped, which I don't think is something that's done anymore by this company. It's an overdrive that was made for people that don't like overdrives. So where most overdrives like Boss, OD, One Overdrive, or even my Super Overdrive are more like kind of clean, straight ahead, just a little bit of gain type things. This is a lot fuzzier sounding and can get really aggressive if you turn it up, but still has this really appealing character that doesn't fuck up whatever your guitar sounds like. It's a great pedal. It's really loud. For that reason alone, I like keeping it around. It's just what I needed to have some grit for our live Dare Me video. If you haven't seen that, you can check that out on our YouTube channel. I recommend watching it if you haven't. Last bit of gear here. This is the oldest guitar I've got. So this is a parts built Telecaster. When I started playing, I lucked out and I had gotten a parts built Stratocaster. By parts built, I mean somebody bought the neck, the body, and the pickups and everything separately and put it together. That Strat ended up being left in a trunk of a car for a week in Concord, where it was like blisteringly hot. Again, it warped the neck and pretty much destroyed that guitar, and I was like heartbroken because that was my number one. And the guy that had fixed that guitar for a while took pity on me and gave me this parts built Telecaster that he had been working on. Extremely kind of him, and if I ever find him, I'm gonna pay him for his guitar, because this guitar got me through that slump and it's kind of the guitar I got better with. I don't play as much as I used to. I'm trying to play it more just because it sounds really good. It's made with good parts, like real Fender parts, a really substantial piece of wood, so it just sounds really big for a Telecaster. Like, I think I've actually had it closer to 12 years. This is the one constant. You'll be hearing more of this guitar on future Evil things, and you'll probably see it on tour. Before we move on to our record of the day, I want to recommend a few pieces of gear for any of you out there that are just learning to play guitar or trying to figure out your sound. I've got a few here I could suggest for you. This is an Op Amp Electro-Harmonix Big Muff Pi. This is based off of the same Big Muff that Billy Corgan from the Smashing Pumpkins used. It has a really insane, like, high-end presence compared to other muffs, so when you play it, there's like this really 90s as fuck sounding grind. I personally don't use it, but that's just because I've got my shit really dialed in. It's another thing you should know: if it's not on my board and it's on that shelf, it does not mean it's a bad pedal. It just isn't right for my rig right now. That could change. This is a really good pedal if you're looking for something high gain that's not like a normal distortion. When you record with it, you can layer it a bunch and it can just make a single guitar sound massive. The controls are simple. There's a volume, sustain, which is your gain and tone, and a switch to turn off the tone circuit and give this more mid presence, which is really useful depending on what style of music you're playing. I would say if you're trying to kind of have a solid overdrive foundation and you're not using the amps overdrive, you're going to want something like this, and then you're going to want to combine it with something like this. This is a Boss Overdrive OD1 that I got that somebody painted red. This is kind of an expensive pedal to find. This is an original one. It's made in Japan, so this is one of the sought after ones. You can get the Boss Super Overdrive, which is this circuit with a tone control that has a little more variety that sounds great. That mixes really well with something like the Big Muff going into it. It can change the tone completely, make it a little more present. With the muff going into it, it makes this sound heavier. A Boss Blues Driver, which I don't have, is also really good for that. That's just kind of like a light gain thing as your foundation. If you're going to get weird at any point, just get yourself a good delay. Some of them are not expensive, and some of them are pretty easy to find and have a lot of features, like this one right here. This is a deluxe Memory Boy. You can get them used for like around $150. I think they might even retail for that. And it has tap tempo, has a bunch of different controls for the delay, a modulation circuit you can dial in. This is just a good place to start if you're trying to get into weird delays. It really is. Let's get into the record times for today. Today's record time is the Wayfaring Strangers Acid Nightmares compilation. This is a really cool compilation of proto stoner rock and proto doom from the 60s to 70s era. It captures this weird transitional time out of flower power, happiness, and love into a more nihilistic point of view that's still heavily psychedelic, and this artwork, this incredible artwork, really reflects that. As you can see, it is blacklight reactive. I don't have a blacklight. There's also some cool art on the inside, but I'm not going to show that. You need to pick this record up if you want to see that. It's really cool. I promise. Go buy it. Don't be weird. A really cool little booklet that comes with this too. The backstories of all the songs and the bands that are here. So a lot of these bands are bands that just don't exist anymore, or like put out the one song and then disappeared. Gives you a chance to learn about some artists that you wouldn't probably find otherwise, and this is a great compilation if you're into that type of music. Highly recommend. That's it for today. Make sure to like this video if you liked it, share it if you really liked it, follow us on Instagram at the Evil Experience, or on YouTube you can subscribe to us also at Evil Experience. I'm Evil Nick on Instagram if you want to follow me there. And that's all for today. Until next time, goodbye.